Hello YouTube, QB999 here with Kingpin of Cinema on the sidelines. We're bringing you another look at one of our mini decks. Now, because it is the Christmas season, I believe it's time to show off one of my favorite decks, though, of creatures coming together to help each other, because after all, isn't that what Christmas is all about?
No.
So this is my updated ally deck. Granted, I already did an ally deck video a while ago, but that was when I only had the first set to go off of, and sadly the third set got rid of allies in general. I don't know why the hell they did that. Anyway, so before it used to be 5 colors, I've actually knocked it down to just 3. Green, blue, and black. The reason why for this is one of the main problems I had with my original deck was flying protection. So green is there to help out a lot with that, as well as blue. Green is also mostly there for the mana acceleration because of this guy here. Blue is there, like I said, mostly for flying protection as well as the ally clone. And black, well, to be honest, it's mostly just there just to fuck with my opponent.
Boo.
Now to start off with my green, I got 3 Tajuru archers, you know, for the flying protection, plus they're relatively cheap allies to bring into play. Next up is a couple Turntimber Rangers. Believe me, if I had more, I would use more because these guys are really good. The more allies you play, the stronger these guys get, and you also get a shitload of wolves, too.
Yay!
I'm sure the Kingpin would like that in his green deck.
I love wolves!
Grey Pelt Hunter is the guy that just gets stronger as each ally comes into play. I like him, though, for the trample effect, because sometimes, you know, you just need to run over your opponent's shit. The Hairbaz Druid is a big part of this deck because of the mana acceleration. I really wish I had more of these. But then that's kind of why I put the ally clone in here, so I could get more. Another big thing is like canopy cover. It's just, again, more anti-flying. Quest for Renewal, you know, I like having my creatures untapped so I can safely attack and still have defenses next and every turn. And also it helps with any abilities that require tapping, which I do have a few of in here. Raking Canopy, probably one of the best anti-air flying cards I've used because it's cheap, and almost every flying creature is relatively weak in toughness, so 4 damage instantly to any flying that attacks you is pretty... It's kind of like a brick wall for flying.
And it stacks.
And it stacks, too. Moving on to the blue, I got this guy that can give all my creatures flying for every time an ally comes into play, again, for the protection and also for offense. Then I got Seagate Loremaster here. I got 3 of him. This guy's good because allies require you to constantly be able to play ally cards. This guy will allow you to keep a hand full of the shit. Because if you have no hand, and you're only going card by card each turn, you're gonna fall behind pretty quickly. Because allies constantly need to be having others come out. Otherwise you're fucked. I have 4 Halmar Excavators here. Not only because the ability is very annoying to the opponent, milling their cards, but also just a really cheap ally. And 1/3, that's a pretty good defender there. Especially early in the game. Next up is a couple Umara Raptors. Again, more flying, because that was a big problem with my original deck. Then the Jawari Shapeshifter. Mostly I'm going to be using her with the mana producer, but if I don't have the mana producer out, I can clone just about any other ally I have, especially like the Turntimber Ranger for more wolves and to get stronger, or, you know, whatever I want. This is a big part of the blue spells, though. Rite of Replication. If you manage to kicker it and pay all 9 mana, you get 5 copies of a creature, so imagine 5 of the same ally all coming out at once. Those are a lot of abilities that's going to be going off all at once, especially if you already have a field full of creatures. Moving on to the black. This is just where you kind of fuck around with your opponent. Agadine Occultist. This lets you just steal creatures from graveyards. Once you kill something, you get to just take it away from them. I always find that one to be fun, although he doesn't get as much use as I would like. Hagra Diabolist. This guy is definitely a pain in the ass for a lot of people. Whenever an ally comes into play, he basically just makes that opponent lose life equal to the number of allies you have. So mixed with like Rite of Replication, someone is going to be taking a shitload of damage from this guy. Next is Bala Get Thief. He just gets rid of your opponent's hands. If there's a card in their hand that you're afraid of, just play an ally with this guy out and get rid of it. Same thing with Sadistic Sacrament. I just put that in there for defensive purposes, since I mostly play with my friends and I know their decks pretty well. I figure I'll put this in so I can get rid of any cards that will eventually pose a problem to me. Next is Bojuka Brigand. It's just a black that gets stronger. He's another cheap guy. He can't block, but that's why he's offensive. You need more offensive allies in order to really help you with this deck. Next up is Dead Reckoning. It's just in case I lose one of my important cards, like my Mana Producer or my Clone, I can get him back with this, as well as deal a little extra damage to the opponent, but mostly it's just to get the creature I need back. The final card of this deck is just, I gotta say, it's just something for me. Soren Markov the Planeswalker. You know, he's able to deal damage and get you life. He can control the opponent's life, and then eventually just control their entire turn. Yeah, plenty of my friends have life gain decks, which get them up to the 50s and 60s in life. And then I just play this guy out and go, okay, you're back down to 10. And then I run their ass over. He's definitely worked out in this deck well. Although he may not seem like it, in an ally deck, he's worked out pretty well. Anyway, so that is my ally deck, my new and improved ally deck. I have to say it is working a lot better than my other one, because mostly I just got rid of 2 colors. The reason why I'm not using white or red is because there were good cards in both of those colors, but these 3 just had more of what I wanted, especially the green and the blue. If you're going to do an ally deck, I highly recommend green and blue.
Don't.
But if you don't want blue, then that's okay. But green is almost a must, simply because of the Mana Producer. The Mana Producer will magnify your deck tenfold and also be able to let you play those humongous creatures pretty early on. Anyway, so that's my deck. Hopefully
decks are better.
Hopefully this will help you out on your quest to becoming a Pokemon Master. Anyway, thanks for listening. Again, this is QB999 with the Kingpin of Cinema just sitting on his fat ass. See you later.